So welcome everybody. I don't know if you can hear me. Yes? Can anybody hear me? Hello? So welcome everybody. I don't know if you can hear me. Great. We can't wait to start a marathon of performances. It's called Continuous 2. In Farsi we call it Motavali, which is the same word, sort of rumors that it's already entered the country, but there was like flights opening to different countries. Everything was going as normal. And how we did it, it was like 9 nights of different performances. But when we started it and how it ended, it was completely different environment. So I'm gonna show you shortly one or two. I'm gonna show you one or two pictures um, from the performance last year. Uh, we started with a theater group called Arse, working with special uh, players, characters. It was called Complete Incomplete Narratives About Us. And it was a theater group who were working with a mixture of people with different sort of disabilities and mental diseases and regular performances. So this is another project called Economy of Space by Shahab Anusha and Mohsen Khedri. And me and Shahab Anusha actually we tried to put together the first Motavali together after there were so much cancellation and boycotts in cultural events last year in winter. So we started to curate the project in a way to inhabit the space of one gallery in Tehran, which is called Motavali Gallery, which they kindly lend us the space for this experimentation. We had also video nights, we had sound walks, as well as interactive pieces. As you can see, storytelling. This is by a lawyer who's telling the story of some of his clients. Of course, he changed the story and mixed a combination of things. And this is also a lecture performance by Naghmeh Manavi. And this is the last performance by Raheleh Bahrami and Farnush Alaverdi, which was actually only performed for the camera. So the last days of Motavali, uh, we went to the lockdown, and it was announced officially. So this is where we stopped last year. So I'm gonna put a link to short clips that you can watch later. This is also by Farid Barati, an interactive installation, which was also interrupted. Uh, okay, so we can already start. I just wanna announce um, I'm just gonna announce the program for today, and then we will start with Arash Fayez performance 3 rather than 2 or 1. Um, we're gonna have 3 performances today. It's first is by Arash, which is will start immediately after me, and then there is work by Kasraa Paashaaie, and the last performance will be by Raheleh Bahrami and Mehrave Mokhtarian, which is going to be performed live from New Media Society. I hope you enjoy. We will be after each performance for some questions, and I hope you enjoy it. So I give it to you, Arash. You can already start, and thanks for watching. Um, I stop here.
Just to check my sound. Can you hear me? Anyone can just let me know if they can hear me.
Yes, we do. You can check that they're typing in the chat. That's why you don't hear them.
Excellent. Chapter 1. The beginning. I. I always begin my text with the letter I. I as the first person singular pronoun in English, when it is a word and not a letter. Whenever I sit in front of my computer to initiate writing, that sentence, that essay, that piece of writing involuntarily starts with I. But don't get me wrong, it has to do nothing with my narcissistic nature and personality. On the contrary, it comes from an absence of creativity and lack of vision. It can be seen as a general struggle to find ideas and inspiration beyond the self. It is also related to an absolute loneliness as a result of moving from one location to another. These relocations have put the I in between places, an I here, an I there, another I somewhere else, and so forth. This solitude formally demonstrates itself in the shape of the letter I. When I look at the keyboard, I appears as the most isolated in the middle of a crowd of characters. Letters that are written with a set of moves from top to bottom or bottom to top, and left to right or right to left, with various lines and curves and combinations of horizontal, vertical, and diagonal marks. But I is just the simplest of the forms and moves, a line from top to bottom with no angle or curve, strong, solid, and in solitude. Chapter 2. The double. And I is often represented by the name of the person who is saying, writing, or expressing it. This name is a word or a set of words by which the I is referred to. In my case, at birth I was identified as Arash Fayez Sorkhabi. The last part of my last name was removed by my parents for personal reasons that don't need to be disclosed. So at the age of 15, I officially became Arash Faiz. It wasn't a dramatic change because it is not common to have two last names in my country, and I wasn't using mine on a regular basis, only for official purposes. The newly reduced last name, that means Faiz, comprises three vowels in a row, A, E, and I, which makes it complicated to pronounce in my native language. At some point in my life, a time I cannot exactly remember, I decided to change it to Fayez as a matter of practicality, to replace the hoarse sound of E with Ye. But despite all my efforts, I wasn't able to change my official last name to this new name, both in my birth country and wherever I lived afterwards. And regardless of a series of library cards, an email, and a website with this made up last name, my main last name, Faiz, has stayed with me since, with its tricky and complex pronunciation. For many years, I thought of this unsuccessful change as a failure, since I was not able to alter a part of my name, a word that is supposed to represent my I. For many years, I began to consider this failure as an invitation. I wasn't able to make the transformation I wanted, but I became aware of the possibility of keeping both last names as a third alternative. Neither Faiz nor Fayez, but Faiz and Fayez. Two words that are nearly identical with a slight variance in writing and pronunciation, potentially dissimilar, incompatible, and divergent in many aspects. One from when I was born, the one that was given to me, and the other which I gave birth to, the one I gave to the I. Chapter 3: The Multiple. A. A little anecdote from 2012. Imagine an elevator with multiple choices for many floors. The person next to me made the number 6 brighter than the other numbers. Still unclear about how I ended up inside the elevator that day, I decided not to make any choice and follow the flow, in this case, following that person. When the door of the elevator opened on the 6th floor, I found myself between two identical floor-to-ceiling black and white photographs of a person holding the hand of another person. In a cliché cinematic way, I felt drawn inside the space and no longer thought about the game I had planned inside the elevator. I forgot that to follow that person. Instead, I walk inside the room looking at the blown up pictures with text on the front wall that read, Game Plan Alighiero Boetti. At the time, I barely knew Alighiero Boetti. I had seen some of the rugs he had made in Afghanistan, but was certainly not a person I would recognize by his face. This photograph is an actual work of his, a postcard he made to friends, picturing him rather surreally holding hands with himself, the Gemelli. Following Marcel Duchamp's example, Boetti created a deliberate public persona, changing his name to Alighiero e Boetti. Now his name is my chess ID, and my laptop password is his full name with an A in between. My admiration towards Boetti started on the day of this anecdote, when I learned about the role of a single letter. The letter E, when it is and means and in Italian, when it is a word, and not a letter. Same as for the word I. Boeti added this letter between his first and last name, thinking of Alighiero e Boeti as two detached parts of himself. He created a dialectic exchange between these two selves. The twins are separate parts of himself that are in relation to each other, but that could be against each other as well. For example, left and right hands, or left and right part of the brain. But here is the key point about this I that I would like to tell you. Let me quote Boeti himself. These are his words. The person who is talking about these two words, that means Alighiero and Boeti, is a third person, talking in a detached way. And at the same time, he is the only thing, because he is the union of two opposites, or of the two parts that are joined. In this way, Boeti shed light on a different way to look at this doubling. It directs us to reflect on a multiplicity of states, Alighiero, Boeti, and Alighiero Boeti himself. Three rather than two or one. Chapter 4, the in-between. E. But what do we really talk about when we talk about Alighiero e Boeti? Or in my personal case, Faiz and Fayez. What brings the twins into existence? And where exactly is the essence of multiplicity constructed and established? The multiplicity is precisely in the E, which means and in French, because E represents diversity, multiplicity, and the destruction of identity. E is neither one twin nor another. It is always in between, where the twins are holding hands on the frontier. The E is the mechanism that allows the shift from one to many. Many is this, that, and this, that as well. The line between this and that is a frontier that resonates with twilight, which is a period between daylight and darkness. Limbo, as a certain uncertain period of awaiting a decision or resolution. Or barzakh, from the Persian for barrier or partition, which is a place between heaven and hell in Islamic theology. But really, what is the in-between? Where is it located? What is its shape? What is it made of? And what color is it? Is it a cube, an irregular prism, a sphere, or a pyramid? Is it mirrored from outside, transparent, or carpented in burgundy velvet? Is it even solid, or something more fluid, like a gas or a liquid? It might be a shape with no depth, a line, a point, or a circle, or even a paper. Or it might be the void, or something similar to nothingness.
2 or 1. 3 dots more or less identical. 3 black points, similar to the one you see when you close your eyes after staring at the sun in the summer by the sea.
Entre uno y otro.
Each of these dots stands for I. Individual soul. An individual soul. I was at location A. Now I is at location B. Now I is at location B. Through this repositioning, I mentally left a part of it at location A.
¿Estás a favor o en contra de la independencia?
Indépendance? J'ai jamais entendu parler. Laisse-moi googler ça. Independence. A historic city in northwestern Missouri, east of Kansas City, population 123,123. A quantum superposed state. A dissociative state of being. To be here and there at the same time. Simultaneously in 2 places.
Yellow.
It is during this time that I breaks in 2 and becomes I and I. A process almost identical to cell reproduction, indistinguishable yet entirely different in spirit. I1 and I2. One has a name and the other another name. One is at location A and the other at location B. One is east and the other west.
¿Prefereixes parlar en catalán o en castellà?
An artist who cannot speak English is no artist.
I1 dreams of I2. I2 dreams of I1, dreaming of I2. I1 and I2 sometimes dream of I. Unremarkable dreams, uneventful mood. Just a fantasy of another place.
And you get
A new location,
cyan
a flawless landscape,
when you mix
a computer background.
blue and green.
I dreams of I1 and I2 every night and every day.
Do you like this one or this one?
Well, the answer is in the question. By saying this or that, you are putting this in opposition to that. For me, it is neither one thing nor another, because end is always in between, on the frontier. For that, there's always a frontier, a line and always things run or flow, only it's invisible, because it's the hardest thing to see.
And is C a third option of the A plus B, or it's something between A and B? It's a
No, it's really A and B together, and then it can be more A or more B.
Exactly,
but it's
yeah.
not a different one.
Yes.
It will be something, a mixture of both.
Yeah.
Always. It will not be something different from that.
It's not a third situation.
No,
it is a
it's
situation
really-
of A and B. It is.
So let's say if you were traveling between London and Dubai, well, you would be either closer to London or closer to Dubai, but still you would be in between these two.
Something that is connected to London and something is connected to
Yes,
Dubai.
and until you don't think about that, well, you would be somewhere in between.
Well, thank you.
Thank you very much, Arash. We can have, since there are so many people here in the room, and Arash is here, if there are questions, you can type it here, or you can directly turn on your mic and say hi and ask it.
I don't think there is any questions, fortunately.
Some people are typing, let's wait.
Okay.
So where are you now? I have a very banal question. Are you, where are you located now? Are you in Barcelona?
I'm in Barcelona, yeah. I'm in
Barcelona.
Barcelona.
And is this your new piece that you created there, or it has been developing for some time now? What we just saw.
The piece that you saw is actually a piece I made. Is the first piece I made actually in Barcelona, and I made it during a residency when I moved to Barcelona with Bar Project. And the person who is narrating the piece and also is acting part of it, Céline Mathieu, is I just saw her in the audience. We collaborated together. We did a piece that she narrated, and if you remember, I was telling you maybe we can have her narrate live, but this is somehow the simplified version. The way that I presented this work, Céline actually performed the poem live. So somehow, like the video has its own sound, and like when people, like the actors and actresses, are talking, but then the rest of the piece, the narration on top, is performed directly by Céline. That's why I call it like a performance screening.
I
And
see.
it's made between 2018 and 2019.
We have a question in the chat from Celine. How did you see the presence of the portrait of the people in the video? You need to click on the public chat to see them, Arash.
How did you see the presence of the portrait? how did you see the presence of the portraits of the people in the video? I think Celine is writing because she's understanding that I have as a third, as a fourth. In this sense. Uh, I see the presence of the people somehow because it is they do not answer based on what they really probably wanted to answer, and it is because of a script that I already wrote. I see them as obviously a part of myself because it's they are performing a script that it's written. So each time you make a film and it is not in a documentary style, the actors and actresses are somehow rechanneling the author here. So obviously, I see them as part of, like, in again the context of the twins of Alighiero Boetti, as an extension of the artist. I'm not sure if it's a third or a fourth, but another layer of the way. Yeah. In the rechanneling of the in between, I think they are providing, based on the script, something that provide a situation that is neither this nor that, but recreating, and it somehow they are inviting a new way of thinking of this or that. If I answer your question, Celine.
I think it did. We have a question from Ida. From Ida, yes. Sorry if it is a vague question. By this and that emphasis on and, with an emphasis on and the number 3 over 1 and 2, do you imply on this togetherness or the sum of the things, this and that, as a new being in addition to this and that?
Absolutely, no, absolutely. Because so somehow what Boetti is saying, and this is not something that obviously I created, and I'm totally borrowing from Boetti. Boetti actually makes something very clear here because you look at his work, and it's at some point like he made like many drawings that on top he draw with like right hand and on bottom with left hand and vice versa, whatever. Or he talks about left brain and right brain, and you see the gemelli, the twin postcard, and you see like Alighiero and Boetti. But it's important that then he talks that like we may see these two things as like, let's say, this doubling, this and that. But then he mentioned, and I somehow that's why I wanted really to quote in the performance, that the artist himself, in this case Alighiero Boetti, talks about these two twins. So this togetherness you're referring is more the sum of things, not necessarily as this and that as a plus, but as a third layer. So here we think as and this and that in a sense of doubling, but by what Boetti is saying, that not only is this and that, but you have the third presence of the artist that makes it more in a triangle sense. So this is why the doubling switches to a multiplicity of things and not only between this and that. Because when you have double, it's a matter of comparison, this or that, right? And when you make the third part of the triangle, this you cannot anymore compare this or that. If I explain clearly, Aida. No, no worries. Okay.
Totally fine, Ida. Thank you for the question. We can have one or two urgent questions as well, but we have then we continue with the rest of the performances. If there are urgent questions, please shoot at us. Otherwise, we can have a 3-4 minute break and go for Kasraa Paashaaie's piece. Anybody? No? Well, thank you very much, Arash, for sharing this work with us. of
Thank you and everybody involved with Lisa for the invitation, and thank you everyone who joined from wherever you are.
yeah, we have a diverse audience here, and we're happy about it. And thanks, give a big shout to the people from the Amber Festival and at Oyun that are also streaming and recording this performances on YouTube as well. So thank you, Arash. We hope to have you still for the rest of the performances. We are gonna move on for the Kasraa Paashaaie's piece. This is called, as I can put here in the presentation, April 7th, 2021, 8 p.m. CET. So in a moment we will start this performance. Okay. So, thank you everyone. We have some background sound from Kasraa is here with us as well. Um, Hi everyone. Thanks for watching. This was the second performance, and here you can see now. Kasraa, can you hear us? Are you here? Kasraa? Hello? کسرا صدای منو میشنوی؟ سلام؟ خوبی؟ آره خیلی ممنون متشکر اگر الان سوالی هست میتونیم از کسرا بپرسیم. If there are questions we can ask from Kasra. We have almost like 10 minutes between the last performance, but I see there are many people in the room, and okay. Are you okay, Kasraa? You're coughing. حالت خوبه کسرا؟ من میتونم برای ترجمه کنم. بله. یه کمی صدات با سرعت بود. یه بار دیگه میگی چی گفتی؟ صدات یه کمی کامپیوتری شد.
بیرونی هستم.
بله.
یکم اینترنتم ضعیفه ولی من
Okay. Kasraa says he is outside at the moment and it has a very not a very good connection, and but he can hear us. So if you have any question from Kasraa, we can type here, or you can just open your mic. Otherwise, I'm sorry, I thought I'm this. Can you hear me? I don't know if I'm disconnected or not. Can anybody hear me? Oh no. Oh, okay. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you, Eda. Yes. So we have now it's 9:41 p.m. in Tehran, and we in 10 minutes, if there are no questions, we can start with the last performance by Raheleh Bahrami and Mehrave Mokhtarian, which will be going live from here from New Media Society. It's a live performance. It is called "A Problem Exists Between the Desk and Chair." Okay, so Rob, if you cannot hear us, you need to dial the. You need to dial. Put the call. You need to call to the room. There is between your microphone and your camera. There should be like a phone, and you can. You have to call the room. You're still in the room, but your voice is not connected, and that's why you cannot hear us. It's the first time we're using BBB, this big blue button for the performances. So we're all adapting, all of us and the audience as well. I will stop by here then, and we will be back live in around 8-9 minutes, if there are no questions. Thank you all, and bear with us a little bit, like 8 minutes, and we will be back soon with the performance by Mehrave and Raheleh live from here. Thank you. In the meantime, I put a link about the Motavali 1 performances. You can have a look. There are short clips that kindly made by Mahoor Mirshakkak. So if you now put in the chat, there is a link of a showcase regarding the previous Motavali project. Uh, Hello, everybody. We're gonna go live soon. So to watch this program, the best is to maximize the webcam from Raheleh and Mehrave, which will be the only active webcam to watch the performance. I hope you enjoy it. We're gonna start in 1 minute. میتونیم یکم با بقیه صحبت کنیم. Okay, everyone. Can anybody hear us? Yes. Okay, wonderful. So we have Mehrave and Raheleh here in New Media Society, and you can ask and talk with them freely. So we would love to hear from you guys. That was the last performance for tonight, and we are here, and as we have like around 10-12 minutes until the 2-hour slot that we have, so we can discuss. Yes. Here so everybody can open their eye, so we can see the people behind the performance now. It was called there is a problem between the desk and screen, or the screen and desk, right? Yes. Can adjust your camera now a little bit, so we can have both of you. Wonderful. So, if you can hear us, you said yes. We're waiting for some questions, but I want to also ask Raheleh and Mehrave that if they developed a really new project, I mean, they were just working very hard. If they want to share something with you guys about what you just saw as an icebreaker, so everybody else would. You want to add something, Raheleh?
So the whole point of this project for us was at the first we wanted to discover what aspects of this post-political ignorance have in our society specifically. So we chose the aspect of intention that is related to post-political ignorance and the fact that no matter what we decide, whatever we decide, there's a phase between the decision.
It seems that we don't have. Yes, we can bring the mic closer. Just 1 second. They need to have that.
You are now muted. You are now unmuted.
Okay, bring the laptop closer to you guys. So, how about now? Do you hear us? The webcam is back on. Okay. Yes. Okay. So, yes, you were saying. Sorry about that. Yes, please. Please start from the beginning.
So we choose the aspect of intention related to the post-digital ignorance, and which we wanted to discover the phase between when men decide about something until it makes it happen, make it happen, and as you can say, from the passive part of decision making until the active part of doing the decision. And the digital time has made it much more complicated, this part of the every decision we make in our life, because of the variety of possibilities that we have in the digital world, it acts as a disruption for us and it interrupt us in every second that I can do that, I can also do that. So that was the whole idea in our space. We can work with others. I guess one important thing was for us that, especially in this situation that we have, the corona pandemic, data are so important for us because suddenly all of our emotions have turned to data. For example, when we lost someone, when we lose someone, or we hear about someone, for example, passing away, we cannot hug people, we cannot cry, and we cannot see the people that are related to the one. But we can just send a message or post a picture into social medias, and because of that, data are so important now. This is the reason that we use the general data in our performance for our videos. Um,
Second, if we have more questions, I have a comment about. I have a comment about. I have to mute this computer. Sorry, guys. Okay, now we have a better sound quality. So if there are any questions, please join us. Forough was commenting there to me that there was a little bit low quality in the conversation part. The rest were fine, and we are only on the first day. There is 2 more days to go, and we would like to have you invite you for the following days. And you are also you can reach all the artists on Instagram, on other through the Amber Network website as well. So we are currently well, actually, I have a question. I wanted to know, how did you choose the video, and then how did you do the choreography in response to that? I mean, it was an improvise. It wasn't an improvisation. I knew that you did a lot of rehearsal to develop it. Can you share us a little bit about that? Tell us how this combination. How did you also started collaborating with each other? How did you find each other, and then how it came to this collaboration?
So about how we chose the data for the videos, and at the very first level, we just try to say, okay, we want to talk about this and that, and we should find some specific kind of videos. But then after a while, we understood that this intention thing that the website gives us and just take us the way that they want, that the web wants, it's changing the material that we are gathering. And we didn't try to block it. We didn't try to just think very specifically about the kind of frames that we want. That was by surfing, by a lot of surfing without any purpose, actually, to see what this is giving us instead of what we want from that. And you can talk about the choreography also. از اولش از اتفاق فیزیکی بدن رو اسکرین شروع میشه و اینکه چقدر در ارتباط با اینکه باید اون چیز درونی که از بدن نسبت درونی که برقرار میشه به اون بدن اسکرین. So the first part of choreography was based on the connection between the screen, the computer, the digital world with the body, and how
the inner part of our body is trying to communicate with digital world.
درباره نسبتی که برقرار میکنه در واقع درباره اون کمپوزیشن که بین ذهن و تصویری که داره چشم میبینه صدایی که داره گوش میشنوه و اون اتفاق فیزیکی که تو بدن داره میفته.
And to show, to demonstrate how different is the process inside our body when we think about something until we bring it on paper or say it. And how does this process change when we are trying to make a sense with the computer or anything in touch with digital world. And this relation becomes something else other than doing it by other people.
و بعد با توجه به تصویری که انتخاب شد اون سعی کردیم که با اون یه نسبت برقرار کنیم بدن رو بازسازی کنیم اون تصویرها و تصویری که از بدن خودمون داشتیم و اون مواجهه‌ای که با خودمون با خود مجازی پیدا می‌کنیم.
And then based on the photos and videos we found during the surfing in the internet, we tried to make a communication between ourselves and these videos to define ourselves and to make a new relation with these data.
تصویری
که از خود بدن گرفته اون نسبت رو خودمون اجازه کردن.
And then the part that we just capture some videos by our own bodies and try to make a connection with the picture of our body instead of our real body and how much that differ when we try to touch our own body or touch it on the screen. And to redefine the meaning of our sense with ourselves when we are doing it through a screen. Although we are so close to that, but it's virtual, and how does it change? I mean, the distance here is not the point of question, but the virtuality and the reality is the question.
Ali asked, how can you explain the story behind the title? Why did you choose this title?
در مورد همین اینتنشن دیگه اینتنشن به تغییراتی که اون اینتنشن شده
So in the programming science, computer programming science, this is a definition in that area. That means that when you are programming something for computer, when your program doesn't run correctly, for 100%, the problem is because of the person that is programming it, not because of the computer and its mechanism. So this is telling that the problem is always through the person that is sitting between the desk and the computer. And then we wanted to also show it that this problem that maybe that's not the problem. This relation, this new relation between ourselves and the computer and digital world, how much the people are involved, and
I mean, in understanding and analyzing the.
Yes, because the data is something specific. It doesn't change. It's our understanding and our perception that changes this data, and maybe that is the problem with the digital world.
مشکلی باشه مدرک اون نشسته مقصدی وجود داره ولی گستردگی نکته دیگر و امکانات این همه
So based on the goal that we have, we know what we should going to reach, but because of the variety of possibilities in the web world, we can just get interrupted a lot and go a lot of different ways that this is based on our intentions, the mislead of our intentions. So this is not the problem of web world.
We can have one last question or two. I don't know, Ali is typing. Because our story, our time is up. But we would, yeah, it's very interesting. And reading out loud is near distance from the screen, like in the performance. So otherwise, thank you all. If there are no further questions, thank you. We also want to thank the Amber Network team for facilitating this, for helping us and making this possible. I know it's not very easy because we're all sitting in different locations, and also to Oyun, which produced this festival somehow. And I also would like to thank all the performers today, and I will as well, I will announce tomorrow's program, which we have. It will be 3 performances tomorrow. Yes, if you can go to the next, the second day, thank you very much. We will have Mahoor Mirshakkak's sound archivist and a performance by myself, Tehran remixed a true story, and a performance by Shamoonpour live from New York. So looking forward to see you all tomorrow, the same day. And thank you for your patience and participating in this event. I wish you all luck and hope to see you sometime soon. Thank you, Mehrave and Raheleh.
Thank you. We want to also thank you, Amirali, for all of your help.
Anytime. It was a real pleasure having you the past couple of days here in these lonely times of Corona. It's good to see some actual people. Okay, then we close now, and wish to see you all tomorrow.